Welcome back to yet another video. I'm Joe with the Smart Workshop, and today we're here to talk about Zabbix and getting all of your devices into Zabbix without you having to lift a finger. You don't want to be manually having to register every single host. That's just an absolute nightmare. So I'm going to show you two ways to accomplish this, to make it dead simple to scan your network for devices and have agent-based devices automatically just pop into Zabbix. Let's go check it out. So the first method here is going to focus on servers out in your environment that use the Zabbix agent. And you have the ability to auto-register them into Zabbix. Now, we want to get this configured so when they do hit that auto-registration, they get set up and have the templates and host groups and all the things that you want already there right out of the box. You don't have to lift a finger. So to start, in your Zabbix console, go to Alerts, Actions, and Auto-Registration. Let's go ahead and create an action. For this exercise, I'm going to focus on pulling in a Linux-based Docker server. So we're going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Docker Servers, and we're going to need a condition. So click Add under Conditions. If you have a particular naming pattern to your hosts, that makes this part super easy. In my environment, it's going to have the name Docker somewhere in the host name. So that's obviously simple. So we're going to say host name contains Docker. Click Add, and then let's go to the Operations tab. So click on Operations and click Add. We're going to do a few things here. When it detects a new Zabbix agent, this is where we tell it what to do when it finds that new server. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to have it send me a message. So I'll send this to all Zabbix administrators and on any available media type. And we'll get into alerting media types a little bit later on in this series. We're not quite there yet. Let's add an additional one, add this host. So that's a key and critical component. When it detects the host, we need to add it into the configuration. So add host. Done. Let's go ahead and also add it to a host group just for good organization. So add to host group, you can choose the host group to add that into. And this is the part that I think is the most important part here is we're going to link templates to it. As you've learned more and more about Zabbix, you probably know that templates are kind of the engine behind how it defines what attributes it's watching on that endpoint so that it can monitor and send you meaningful alerts. So since we decided that this is a Linux-based Docker server, we're going to link two templates to this. So this will be Docker by Zabbix Agent. Let's also just get the Linux by Zabbix Agent active, since this will be an active registration. Perfect. Okay, on the Zabbix server, that's it. Simple configuration. Now let's turn our attention to the server itself. Go ahead and SSH into the server where you have the Zabbix agent installed. If you don't already have that loaded up, check out my previous video if you're not familiar with how to get the agents deployed. Super simple. We're just going to modify that config a little bit here to make sure we're pointing at our server. So we'll modify the Zabbix agent 2.conf file, and we're just going to modify two lines in the system. So it'll be the server equals and the server active equals lines to point at our Zabbix server. So in this case, I already have this one scoped in for a larger subnet that I know includes this Zabbix server. So I'm fine here. I'm using that /24. And then in the server active field, you just want to put in either the host name, preferably, or the IP address of your Zabbix server. So once you have that correct, go ahead and save that configuration. And we'll just need to restart the Zabbix agent service. So that's this line right here. Perfect. Now, let's go ahead and head back over to our Zabbix dashboard, where at the next cycle, we should just see that new server pop into our list. So by default, you have the CPU utilization card there in the upper left of your Zabbix dashboard. And hey, there it goes. It just popped in. That's the name of the Docker server that we just configured the agent on. Boom, it just showed up. Now, let's go take a look at it, see if it did what we wanted it to do. So let's click on that host. And in the context menu, go ahead and go to host. And let's just see that it attached the attributes we wanted to. So it did match on the host name. I said the host name contains Docker, so it matched on this. And we do have those two linked templates in there, the Docker by Zabbix Agent and the Linux by Zabbix Agent. Those are both linked into it. And it is also in the two host groups that I configured as well. If you just give it a few minutes to do its initial data collection, you should be able to head on into the latest data section here. If you're paying attention, it had 127 items in there. And this is just all the things about that system. You can see how this is now easily repeatable and deployable across a really large landscape if you need to. You just have to point your Zabbix agents at your Zabbix server, and as long as you have your auto registration configured correctly, boom, they're just going to pop in here and start monitoring. You don't have to come in here and do anything. Amazing. So that covers agent-based systems. And you can see how if you have different types of agent-based systems, whether they're Windows servers or different types of platforms, that you can build those rules in order to capture those and apply the right templates, put them in the right host groups, all that stuff automatically. Great. Now, what about systems that don't use the Zabbix agent? Small IoT devices, maybe network level devices that use SNMP traps. How do we manage those? That's a different type of configuration, very similar types of rules. For those, we need to actively scan those network segments to find them. We can trigger to bring those hosts in with similar types of attributes. So let's take a look at that now. This has two components. Both of them are going to be purely in the Zabbix UI here. So to start out, we need to go to data collection and discovery. By default, you're going to have this local network. I would just delete that. And we're going to click create discovery rule. For this exercise, I'm going to look for devices on my IoT VLAN. I'm going to give it a name that's meaningful. We'll leave the discovery by set at server, not proxy. We'll talk about proxies a little bit later on in the series. And the IP range, that's the important part here. Important note here, if you have multiple VLANs, I recommend that you do not use the full .1 through 254 range on every single VLAN, because it's going to pick up your firewall on every single one of those VLANs. You probably only want to detect your firewall and monitor it from one interface, primarily a management interface. If you have multiple VLANs, this is an important detail. You're just going to want to start with like .2 through 254 to capture the entire range and leave the firewall or gateway router out of the mix. I'm going to enter the IP range for my IoT VLAN and the update interval. 1 hour is a good interval. For the sake of this exercise, though, I'm going to drop that to 1 minute just so we get devices in there real quickly. Make sure you go back and change that because these discovery scans, they do tax the system quite a bit. And then under checks, this is how is it going to do that discovery. So you see in the check type, you've got a number of options in that drop-down list. For this exercise, we're going to use ICMP, a basic ping, and click add. And the rest of the defaults here are fine. Okay, so this will be the part about how it scans that network. Now we need something to tell it what to do when it finds something. So for that, we're going to go to alerts, going to go to actions, and we're going to go to discovery actions. Here, we're going to build that action or that rule that will say, hey, when I find a device, what do I do with it? So I'm going to call this action IoT discover devices, and we need a condition. So we're going to tag that condition discovery rule that we just created. So we'll select discovery rule, and we will go find that rule. In this case, that is IoT devices. When it discovers a device, from that rule, what does it do with it? Click on the operations tab here. And this is very similar to the auto registration that we did earlier. We're going to add operations, tell it what to do when it finds a device. In this case, we're not going to send a message. That could get really noisy, but we are going to add the host into the configuration, add that host to a host group. I'll just put this in the discovered host group for now. And the most important part here is, since this is a ping-based check on that device, we are going to need to link a template. And there will be a ping template for that, ICMP ping template. Click add. We see that discovery action is now listed. Let's see what it found. Let's go to monitoring and go to discovery. And since we have that threshold set to just 1 minute, found quite a few devices pretty quickly. Fantastic. Let's go to monitoring and go to hosts. And after a minute or two, you should see all of those same hosts pop up in here. Let's pop into one of these just to make sure it did what we asked it to do. Click host. It is in the host group discovered hosts. That's what we told it. And it does have the template attached, the ICMP ping. And if you drill into any of these, again, the latest data is your go-to here. We see there's just 3 attributes it's monitoring. Very simple on the ICMP ping. Percentage of packet loss, up or down status, response time in millisecond. It will automatically alert you if one of these devices falls offline. So you can see this is a really powerful way in Zabbix to set your environment up to automatically detect devices, get them configured without having to hit every single one of those hosts in the UI and configure them. This will save you just an absolute ton of time. Certainly hope you found this video helpful. If you're not already, please subscribe, hit that like button, hit me up in the comments, let me know what else you'd like to see in this area. I'm Joe with the Smart Workshop. I'll see you next time.